No, their outros are hilarious. They don't do them; they just do hard cuts. So
Yeah.
what they'll do is they'll make their final statement or whatever else, and they're just chatting back and forth, and then Thomas or James, one of
Click.
the two, will bring up something like super embarrassing. Like, you remember that one time your mom. All right, today's another episode of The Short Shift, and it's one that I've been employing Steven to give to us because he's got an issue. I do too, but he's got a bigger issue akin to a rant. So for the rest of you, this is all the reasons why he hates the Mustang Mach-E. Go ahead.
All right. So, and I'll preface this with it's really only one reason, but it's a really big reason, and it expands to a few other things that are going on in a few other places. And I hate all of them, so we need to address it all in one breath. All right. The Mach-E, which is what I'm going to call it from here on out, because it has nothing in common with a Mustang whatsoever.
It looks
no
like
way,
a
no
Mustang.
how, no shape, no form. Mustangs, two-door coupes, maybe 6 cylinders, maybe V8s, maybe even 4 cylinders. There's been a few good 4-cylinder Mustangs over the years. Primarily, function in the world is to look good, carry one person, his or her significant other, maybe a kid or a dog, but small, and do cool performance-y things, sound cool, and do burnouts, because that's what Mustangs do. And
does the Mustang Mach-E not do a burnout?
I mean, there is that one with Gittin.
I believe it has a. Yeah, I believe. Well, the Mach-E like 1000 or whatever.
The super modified one.
Okay, don't quote me on this, but I thought the Mach-E actually had a burnout mode.
No, that's the regular Mustang, because they have
no.
line lock and burnout.
I know the regular Mustang does too, but I thought they would put that in the Mach-E because it's a Mustang Mach-E, anyways.
No, as far as I know, no, I have not seen that. They don't have launch control or burnout mode because they're not Mustangs. All right, 4-door crossover. I've gone on rants before. I'll skip that one about why crossovers are stupid, other than just Americans keep buying them because duh. All right,
and you kill the wagons. You. All you guys who are watching, you kill the wagons. And now we have the Chevy Equinox. The Trailblazer.
All right, but the real rant here, right, is besides the Mach-E and why it's terrible, naming conventions. Yeah. Names matter. I know there's some marketing nerds in car companies that are like, well, names are really just an IP that gets us more money on sales. No, they have tradition, history, depth behind them. And they matter. And sometimes they get it right, like the new Bronco. It's everything a Bronco should be. Well played. The Bronco Sport, and basically a Bronco 2. Honestly, it didn't have much to live up to, so it's probably going to live up to it, because the Bronco 2 was a flaming turd, so...
It's going to be better in every single way.
Yeah, even expectation. The bar is low.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be all right. Reference Chevy and the recent release of the new Blazer. Terrible. Just say it, Greg. Go ahead and try to defend that one.
There's gonna be like 10 episodes of Short Shift of just me going on tirades of why GM sucks right now. Jason Camise,
okay, so Blazer. All right. The Blazer had history. Now it's basically a mommy van crossover utility thing.
Oh, so what about the naming convention with the Maverick? That has history, right?
Right. And if the car winds up not sucking, I don't get where they're going with it. But okay. Also, the Maverick only had one model run of like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't exactly say it had history, but it does have some meaning, for sure. The Ford Lightning, right, had a significant and, in my opinion, good name run back in the day through 2 full generations of F-150 as the sport truck. Sweet burnouts, regular cab, short bed, muscly, V8 noise, blower whine. Yeah, get some.
I'd like to annotate this too. I would have less of an issue, and I think Steven would too. I would have less of an issue if the flagship Lightning image was actually a single cab short bed EV. That would have been in white too. That would have been awesome. I think that would have been like, have that be the first vehicle that rolls out and then go to the crew cab. I know the crew cab is the one that's going to sell. I know the one that people are going to buy. But for the rest of us nerds out there, I think we would have been more behind the idea of naming convention of the Lightning with the single cab.
That's a big part of it. My thing is that the whole focus of the Lightning sales pitch for it was all about all this cool EV stuff that it could do and nothing about performance or burnouts.
It's fast.
Yeah.
Ish.
Is it faster than a 3.5 twin turbo truck?
I mean, So that
It
would have been an
probably is
interesting marketing.
slightly, but like
Yeah.
they didn't focus on that at all.
No. And
And that
that would have
was
been
to me
something to put
that's
in to the thing, right? Is that they did it right. So I'm getting on Tyra too for Steven, but like if they did it right, like this would have been the time to actually show, like, here, this is a 5.0 power truck. This is the EV power truck. Look how much faster the EV is on a drag strip. Like that would have been kind of like a little bone to throw at the enthusiast guys, like saying, hey, we took your name, but it's still quick.
right. It's faster, and you could be all like, "Oh yeah," as it silently pulls away while I'm sipping on my soy latte because, of course, I drink soy lattes because I drive an EV. Stab. Yeah, I'm going there. But uh, so other naming conventions that are dumb. Actually, hang on. So for the Mustang, Mach-E, they could have called the Mach-E so many things that would have made a lot more sense. They tried to spin it as we want a Mustang-ish thing that is four-door and suitable for more people, more cargo, all that jazz. Man, if only Ford offered a rear-wheel drive Mustang-based thing that's four-door. Wait, oh, hang on. I'm just getting word in. We did. It was the Falcon in Australia. They just wouldn't sell it to the Americans because, I don't know. Ford, I got nothing.
Cross compete sales with the Galaxy, the Fairlane
That we also didn't get here in the
Victoria.
States. The Crown Vic? I mean,
Weird.
maybe?
Oh.
That seems like a stretch. So yeah, they could have gone with Falcon. I think Galaxy would have been a good call for it, for like their
Galaxy
flagship. Because at one point the Galaxy was their big flagship sedan leading the pack. That could have been cool. So many throwbacks. While we're on the topic of naming convention, though, I'm just going to start throwing darts out at a few other people that are terrible at it. BMW, what the hell are you guys doing? Just throwing that one out there.
I don't think this is the time. I think it's the Mach-E.
Too soon? Okay.
So, but to recap on this too, he's over here shaking the screen going, names mean stuff. The Mach-E does not suck as what it is, right? It is a CUV, which we also have disagreements on too, because I don't think CUVs need to exist. Anyways, it's what's selling right now. It's what's hot. It is a good competitor. It is a well-priced competitor to anything Tesla can possibly put out and Stellantis. If you haven't listened to that episode, rewind. That should be out first, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good vehicle. And if they named it just the Mach-E, so it is a Ford Mach-E, I think that would have been just enough to get the point across where it is an EV that has a slight tinge of fastness to it. I have a problem, and I brought this up to Steven too. I have a problem because Ford decided to use the Mustang styling conventions on an SUV, which doesn't really translate to the best. It's not bad looking. It definitely could be a lot worse.
So,
however, Aston Martin just came out with their DBX, right? There's a video, I think Throttle House has it on or whatever else. It is a gorgeous looking SUV thing. Ford already had an Aston Martin looking design philosophy back with the Fusions and the Tauruses, you know? Why couldn't they do that with the EV and make it actually more relevant? Is it because they killed off all the cars and only had the Mustang to pull from? That's stupid. Ford already tried to make a car that looked like a truck, Flex, which was fantastic. It didn't sell well because I guess it didn't look car enough.
I think it didn't look SUV enough. It looked too much like a car. That's why the Flex died, if you're having my bet.
The grill was 4 feet wide. How is that not truck enough? Like, we'll have a picture here, right? Flex. Like, I thought it was a full-framed truck that was just lowered because people need to get it easy in and out easier. Steven corrected me, and apparently it's actually a wagon.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Flex is a wagon, yeah. But, yeah.
Which, so we also have to talk about that, too, if you want to rewind and listen to
wagons.
What's a wagon, what's not.
So anyway, yeah, that's the thing, right?
Wagon.
Definitely a wagon. I mean, it meets all the criteria. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways,
yeah, that's the thing, right? Mach-E's not a bad car. Don't get me wrong on that one. I actually think it's a great car. I think it's going to sell really well. I just really hate the naming convention. And I feel like the naming convention is representative of the process at Ford, where they're viewing the names as just an IP to get sales going on what they think is going to be the next hot thing that they need to get sales going on. Like no one on that team actually gave a flying shit about the Mustang's 50 plus year heritage. It's just an IP to get more sales on the latest electro, whatever the hell is going to be the next big thing.
And to further drive that issue too, look at the naming conventions for the models that they have. There's the Mach-E, and then now there's the Mach-E GT, and then you can buy the Mach-E GT Performance. Why couldn't they just do like the SE, the SEL as limited? I think that's more commuter spec. I get that people want to have cool things, but when you use the GT and GT Performance, I think it's weird to have the Mach-E as a name and then put another designator for the model, because the Mach wasn't a model, right?
Right. The Mach was always a trim level of Mustangs.
Right. I just feel like, I don't know.
Or now this is another one. This is a totally different tangent. If they had made a straight electric, like literally the Mustang as we know and love it, with an electric drivetrain, and called that the
They've been messing
Mach-E.
with it. They've been messing with it, right? Both Chevy and Ford have been messing with EV drivetrain drag cars. Like, they're obviously testing stuff out, but like,
right. I'm saying if they brought us a street EV Mustang and called it the Mach-E, everybody would be like, "Oh, cool, I get that. It's a Mustang, but electric. I can get with that."
And what he's getting into, we might have another tirade about this later on too, but what he's getting into is that you have the assimilation of the EV culture. Do you make a bespoke vehicle that is EV, or do you make something that wasn't EV into an EV and make it more familiar? You have, on the one hand, you have something like the Tesla or Volkswagen's coming out with the ID4, or you have like with what Mini did, which is the Mini Cooper, and then you have the Mini Cooper EV, the SE trim, I think it is. You have something that's familiar, size, shape. Physically, packaging, we know what it is, and now it's just EV. That's easier to live with versus some Wyoming crazy.
It also gives, I think, a good option in the marketing department, right? For people that maybe already had one or have had one or know somebody that had one. Like they had a Mini, right? They know the Mini works good. And now they're at a different stage in their life. They're looking at buying an EV because their situation is such that an EV would work. They're like, oh, it's basically the same thing, just without gas.
Yeah. It's the same thing with electric. It's no different than what Jeep did with the 4xe. It's more expensive than the gasoline versions, for sure. But like, if you are the type of person who doesn't seriously off-road your Jeep, and if you do and you buy one, you're kind of not our people. But if you know how a Jeep works, you know how it functions, and it looks good at the mall parking lot, and you see the one that's hybrid, I get that. Like, that can work.
Yep.
I don't know. I still give kudos to Ford, because I think the Mach-E is going to be a sparkling success. Steven hates
I'm sure it's going to be a sales. I'm sure it's going to be a sales success. I can still hate it.
You just hate it.
The new Chevy Blazer is an absolutely killer sales success right now, and I still hate it.
I have problems with GM right now.
Just because it sells good doesn't mean it's a good car.
It doesn't even feel like it should be a good car.
And I can point out so many examples through auto history over the years of things that sold really well. That doesn't mean they're good. It just means they were in the right place at the right time.
Anything Lee Iacocca made in the 80s.
Whoa. Let's not get started on the K cars, all right?
Okay, and on that terrible note, we're going to end this short shift here. You've been listening to the Broken Axle Podcast. Please tell us how we did. We're all on the social media sites now if you just search for Broken Axle Podcast. And that includes also Facebook as well. We have a new merch line now, Steven.
Yippers. So we worked with an artist. We got a new merch line out. I will drop the links down below. You can customize them however you want. One logo, two logo, whatever you want to do. And hit us up on socials.
And if you want to follow our personal accounts, I am on Instagram at nomadic.wheelman, Steven.
And I'm over at justcan'tdrive55 on Instagram and Facebook.
And for the rest of us, go hug your kids and call your mama. Take care.